showtime.
I'm your huckleberry.
Yeehaw, little doggies!
Howdy, everybody.
I tell you, SBD, I think we're going to be heading ourselves to Texas.
I reckon we are. Yeehaw!
It reminds me of San Antonio. Woo!
What is up, everyone? I can't believe it. I'm trying to get Instagram going live as well for us. It is finally the week that we've been waiting for a while, man. It is all in week. I got my fresh cowboy hat to bring down to the Lone Star State there.
Very nice.
Actually, I need to see if I have a belt buckle and a belt too. But I got all
Dynamite
my stuff laid out. I got
belt.
right behind me. My suitcase is open. It's starting to be packed. I know the Mind Runner family is getting on a plane, a jet plane tomorrow, and you'll be down there holding down the fort. How excited are you, bro?
Less than 24 hours. The Mind and Full Tilt Dead connection is going to arrive in the DFW. We are going to be rocking it there. We're going to be there in person. No meet and greets for us that night. You know, unfortunately, Starcast didn't.
Whoa. It's just me. It's me, SSPD. I don't know what happened to Mind Runner. Oh, we have some technical difficulties on that. But, yeah, we're going to go through our plans for the week. We're going to make our early on picks for the show as well. So this is going to be a combo, preview show combo / a excitement hype show / talk about our itinerary. All right. So the real Mind Runner, please stand up.
I don't know. Maybe it. I don't know. Maybe the. My mind is gone. Apparently, I don't know what that was. That was all about. Perhaps a certain federation doesn't want us to have access to all this stuff. I don't know. There seems to be some stuff going on. That was a little bit of a surprise. But hey, yes, we will be there in person. We're excited. It's going to be awesome. We're so. I don't know how I'm going to get to sleep tonight. I don't know how that's going to happen, but I'm looking forward to it.
A lot going on. We have the card pretty much shaped up, and a lot of stuff going on with different rumors and things around circulating the IWC with potential. Oh, we lost Mind Runner again. That's his avatar there. Oh,
you never lose, Mind Runner, SPD. How you doing there, cowpoke?
It's been a while since we've seen you, Rock Hard. How are you doing?
It's been a while. Oh, I've been, fighting some issues here, but you can't keep a Rock Hard from being soft. You got to be rock hard to stay rock hard.
Rock Hard, you're definitely hoping we'll see you down there in the Lone Star State, and hopefully recovery's going good. And We missed the Bang Bang Gang. We missed the Squad, one of the most important pivotal groups in all of AEW. So hope to see you there, wink, wink, in some
wink,
fashion.
Wink. Yes, winky wink is a good way to say it because you never know when Bullet Club Gold is going to show up and the Bang Bang Gang is always ready.
Guns
I know
up, always.
Exactly. I've been, the missus, she's been doing her, her star-studded thing, but, that casino gauntlet, you might have some surprises in there. You never know. And the key to victory is to win, and that's what Juice is going to do when the juice is loose and rock hard, rocks all over Dallas, Texas, and the Dynamite Download crew.
Guns up, baby.
Guns up, baby. Yeah, guns up. Well, let me let you get back to your program here. Look forward to maybe seeing y'all in Dallas. I'll see y'all in Full Tilt Dev and the General of the Thunder Army, Brent Ross, and that Mind Runner. And I'll see y'all then. Y'all have a great rest of the show.
Thank you, Rock Hard. As always, great having you on there. And whoa, Mind Runner, Matt, you're back. You just missed a special drop in. I know you've been having technical difficulties, but you just missed a special drop in from Rock Hard.
Rock Hard was here?
Yeah, he says hi.
So long. Oh my goodness, it's good to see. I'll have to watch on the replay. But that's awesome. I'm so
I keep
sorry.
Getting a FaceTime call in here. And it keeps, I don't know if you're hearing the volume on my computer. I'm trying to mute all that. But anyways, we do miss the juice. And I mean, that's something we could talk about. Why don't we go right into, we'll talk some of the card, then we'll take a little break. We'll talk about our plans. But first and foremost, that Casino Gauntlet men's match.
Yes.
Because this is when both the men's and the women's matches. And for those of you involved in our draft, this is going to be our preliminary picks too. So preliminary picks of who you're going to pick for these. You can change them leading up to the start of the show, the start of the buy-in. We lost Mind Runner again, but that's okay. Start of the buy-in, you can change your picks, but these will be preliminary picks because I know we got a busy week ahead of us when we're going down in Texas. So you will be able to change them via text, Instagram, X, anything, you can change that. But for now, we're going to do our preliminary picks there. Yeah, if MJF wins the Casino Gauntlet, Hangman for sure dethroning Mox. So this was what I mentioned before, Protostar, a few shows ago, or last show, is, these Casino Gauntlet matches are so fun, but at the same time, it's going to be a crystal ball of what we see in the future, I feel like. So you have someone like an MJF win, you're almost guaranteed to have a Hangman win. If you have someone such as a red hot baby face in, let's just throw out a name, Harley Cameron, I don't think she's going to go against Toni Storm, well, even though that'd be very entertaining. But it's one of those things. If Darby wins the Casino Gauntlet, Mox won't drop the title versus Hangman. I mean, this is the thing. With this Casino Gauntlet, there's so many layers to it. And is that your pick, Mind Runner?
Yeah, I've actually went ahead and put my pick in there. I'm just trying to hide bookmarks bar. There we go. Yes, I have actually decided to put in for the men's casino. This is how I actually think it is going to be MJF that wins the Casino Gauntlet. I think it's going to come down to him and Mark Briscoe. Even though they're the 1 and 2, I think that's the main story. There's going to be a lot of surprises and returns, but I think it's going to be MJF that gets that one. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I was going to go with some kind of rogue surprise, but just given the landscape, I think I'm going to pick MJF as well because I like that storyline regardless of having that token, that freebie match, expediting him to the front of the line. So, I'm going to pick MJF as well, just for now. I might change my pick a little bit later if they start to add more names, but I would love a surprise winner of this, an unexpected winner as well, because I feel like you're having two potential storylines to continue past this, other than him winning this, would be the Mystico stuff to leading into Forbidden Door, and then the storyline with Briscoe. Like I'm loving both of those. So like I don't think he necessarily needs this, but I feel like it'll elevate the Hurt Syndicate and him that much more, having this, contract at any given time in his possession. And so, I mean, that's what he's been saying. He wants to get the BBB back or whatever. So, and I want to see Hangman beat the crap out of MJF too.
Yes. And I got to say, Protostar Fletch says in the chat, Darby wins Casino, Mox won't drop. I think the winner of the men's Casino will indicate strongly how the main event's going to go. And I actually think that's the same. I would argue the same for the women's, is that if a heel wins the women's Casino Gauntlet match, then Tony retains. If a hero like a Willow or Statlander, which I like, again, Fletch in the chat talking about Death Riders helping Stat win. I like that as well. So I could see if Stat wins, even though she's kind of Death Riders or the heel, I think her story is unfinished, and ultimately it's going to end up with Statlander and Willow reuniting against a Marina Shafir and a Shayna Baszler that arrives at AEW. But anyways, that's what I'm thinking. But I think that's going to indicate who's going to win between Mercedes and Tony Storm. Good point. But that's why I feel confident MJF is going to be the one to win this Casino Gauntlet match.
Yeah. Then we got Courtney in the chat saying MJF too. Men's is definitely wide open. Anyone else got their picks? Like I said, you don't have to make your final pick now, but these are preliminary ones just because we're not going to be able to do a true preview show ahead of time. But here we go. Special guest joining the show. You ready, mine?
Yes.
Let's bring him in.
The Generalissimo. Attention.
That's right. So
there he is. At attention, gentlemen.
The three amigos plus FTD are going to be rocking and rolling, holding down the fort down in Texas, plus some of our faithful following down there. We're going to meet for the first time. It's going to be an awesome week. We'll talk about some of our plans a little bit later in the show, but right off the bat, Brent, what are you thinking for this Casino Gauntlet match? So many layers, so much can happen. That's what's so fun about these matches.
Oh my gosh. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, hear you loud and clear.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. Geez, I'm curious to see who we're going to be getting. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
That's why it's kind of hard to pick because we don't know who's all going to be in it, right?
Well, that's the trick, though. You got to if you feel like strongly somebody new or a return is going to pick like an Adam Copeland or a Darby, you got to. Yeah.
I mean, that's a good pick. If Darby say Darby comes in and wins, you might think that, Mox was going to beat Hangman.
Yep.
See, the Darby thing, I feel like Darby has to come back at All In because he made those promises of being there. I almost would rather him not be in this match, and I almost would rather him come back in the Texas Death Match and do this insane coffin drop on Moxley and or someone from the Death Riders, and that pop will be great. And then that will immediately give him a feud with the Death Riders / Moxley. And Moxley-Darby feud, even if it's not for the world title, is going to be great because I feel like Moxley owes it to Darby in a sense of putting him over. And Darby would have humongous momentum because Moxley doesn't lose to many people at all, which he shouldn't. He's just top of the food chain. So I like that way. I don't think it's necessary for Darby to come back and get a title shot. I almost liked, the whole Christian Cage thing, walking around for months and months and months with it is so fun. Like Darby having that, I feel like he is better off earning his spot, earning his title shot the old fashioned way than this match. I feel like we're going to have exciting returns, which is always fun, like a Royal Rumble style thing where you have returns and you have immediate new feuds. You're like, have someone coming out. And then you can have MJF holding this carrot over everyone's head and, really threatening that. I feel like it'd be more fun as a fan, in my opinion.
Another good question is, like, how long do you think it's going to last? Like, how many guys are we going to get?
Yeah.
I feel like, these are all good questions too. Like they can almost be like the tiebreakers, but I feel like you have to preserve this as well. That's the what if of this match, but I would hope you have at least 10 for both sides. Just just to maximize it, not only maximize giving the talent an opportunity to be on the card for one, but also adding more layers of this as well, creating new feuds. So, because beyond the show on Saturday, a lot's going to change in the landscape of AEW and for a good way. And so you almost want it's almost like the closing of a season on a TV show and starting a new season.
This is a Super Bowl finale.
Having returns like this, I really hope that we do get a Jay White return, a Copeland return, a Darby return, like just not necessarily in these matches or just something sometime, somehow. Ricochet. Okay, Ricochet winning that. Okay, FTD's picking Ricochet. That would be another one of those. Like, as much as I love baby faces, I want a heel. I think a heel having this chip, this contract is more fun, in my opinion.
I think Ricochet. My better half has got me second guessing MJF. Ricochet would be
a good pick.
You know, in fact, you know, the Gates of Agony helping him secure that victory.
True. Brent, do you got a pick right now off the bat? You can always change it too.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll go with. I was gonna go Darby, but I think I might go MJF. Because I'm hoping that Hangman wins, and I think like you guys said, I think we'll know a lot once this is over.
Mm-hmm.
I'm second guessing. I can see Rick. I think it's going to be MJF with the whole Hurt Syndicate's going to help him win, but oh man, Ricochet. It could be Ricochet.
Yeah.
Because didn't he debut last year at All In at the Gauntlet?
He did.
Yep. So I
good
could see
point.
him win. You know, there's a little bit of a pedigree with that whole thing. So.
I mean, that's the thing what I said at the beginning about this match is MJF already has built-in feuds ahead of him with Mystico and Briscoe and that. And so having Ricochet, not only did he earn that spot and earn that title shot with the amazing work that he's been doing, like that is a great pick. Good job, FTD. Now we'll get the. Let's see.
I just want to say I still like Steven's pick though. I mean, if a babyface is going to win, it should be Briscoe. Yeah, it should be Mark Briscoe, I think. But yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, let's move on to the women's match. We'll get the rest of the crews throughout the next couple days, but both gauntlet matches. This is a tough one because AEW is not shy. Tony Storm has proven to go against heels and baby faces and make it work so well. And this is another one of those. It's like, whew, man, I don't want Tony to lose the belt. And so my mindset is with Tony retaining, cross my fingers, who do I want her to go against? And, you know, your pick is Ty Conti right there, right? That's your official pick.
That's my official pick. I think Ty Mello. I don't think she's going to win it, but I think she's going to be the next feud.
I think that's a great, even if it is whoever is the women's champ at the end of the night, like that would work. Like it'd be nice momentum for that for her. I don't have a pick. I'm still thinking right now. We got FTD is picking Statlander. We got Steven picking Megan Bain.
Good pick.
Protostar is picking Statlander again with the Death Riders helping her out.
Is Protostar is that Ranger Man?
No, it's just one. He can throw his picks in as well. But Protostar, if you don't know, we do a fantasy draft for our Dynamite download. We do multiple month draft, and we have standings and fantasy teams. And for our picks here in the pay-per-views, whoever gets the most correct picks gets a +3 on the standings there, which will show our standings at the end where we're standing going into All In week. But
I'll throw Fletch's picks like somewhere on here. I don't have a token.
Keep picking. But Courtney's got Thunder.
Courtney says Thunder Rosa.
Like,
nice.
Yeah.
And Full Tilt Deb said Statlander, right? All right. You guys there?
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta make sure because I think a certain Fed is messing with my
Full Tilt Deb Statlander.
Courtney said Thunder.
Thunder.
All right. And who did Fletch say?
Fletch was saying Stat.
That's a good pick.
Man. Brent, who you got?
So here's my prediction. I'm thinking that we're going to get Thunder Rosa beating Athena on Friday.
Ooh.
We're gonna have. Now, I heard rumors that they're both gonna be in the gauntlet, but I'm gonna go Athena. I think she's gonna lose the belt, and then she's gonna win the gauntlet, which will change my predictions though for who's gonna win the world title. But I think Athena. I'm gonna go Athena.
I kind of like that booking. That actually
I
makes
love that
better
booking,
sense.
yeah.
It might tell you. I think who we both are thinking is going to win the women's match, right, Brent? But I think that's because that was a match. Athena versus Mercedes was a match that we got a taste of, but we need the full feud. We need the full feud, so I could definitely see that happening.
That was really strange. I don't know if they should have did that back then.
Yeah.
That was a weird call.
It was.
Yeah, because it's like I like that trajectory of the path of the weekend. Thunder becoming the ROH champ, Athena moving more to mainstream mainstay on AEW television. But at the same time, it's like, does Athena, does she have enough to dethrone whoever's champ? Yes, I do think she does. And so
I just changed my pick. I'm with Brent on this one. I think it's going to be Athena.
That would be huge. I guess just for now, I'm gonna pick the safe bet in Statlander.
Okay, which is a good bet. I mean, I think that's likely the outcome. I think the whole thing about the Death Riders helping her, I think, is going to be the pick here.
And that's not. And I wouldn't be sad if Statlander won.
No, I wouldn't be sad at any of these. Like that's the caliber of this.
You're right.
Yeah, I would not be sad at any of these.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this, and like with the surprise entrances, I think it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, one of my favorite gimmick matches is a Royal Rumble because of the surprises, and so
to
have two of these matches is a lot of fun. That's why I hope we get at least 10 and turn it into almost mini Royal Rumbles.
Yeah,
and I like how Fletcher's say Shotzi Blackheart might show up. She's expressed interest in AEW. She's going to be at GCW.
Yeah,
but the only thing is that her meet and greet is on Saturday, so I don't know if that means she's not going to. If you're on Saturday's meet and greet schedule, are you not going to be wrestling? I don't know. I mean, she could still wrestle. Who knows?
All right, Brent, what match you want to talk about next?
Let's see. You want to talk about the TBS championship?
We can. Let's go right to it. All right, go ahead, Brent. Tell us, what are your thoughts?
Well, this is the world, women's world.
There's no TBS.
Oh, I'm sorry, TNT. I'm sorry.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, I get my channels mixed up.
It's all good. It's all good.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Oh, geez. Yeah. So I think it's time for Kyle Fletcher to win that belt. Don't you think?
100%.
100%. Are we going to?
Yeah. I mean, I've said this before on our show. Like before this was the official match, I was like, in no wrestling world do I see Fletcher losing to Adam Cole. Unfortunately, the way Adam Cole, like, I like him as a character and, part of a faction, but you talking about one-on-one with the Protostar, I mean, the guy is just, talk about growth. Ricochet's had such an outstanding year. Fletcher has had even arguably probably one of the best year of growth overall with everything that he's done in the ring character-wise. And honestly, Fletcher should wipe the floor with him. I really think it's one of those where he should really, it almost shouldn't even be contestable.
He should beat him like really quick.
Yeah. I
think that would be really cool.
They haven't done that in a while, but I think really if they want to give him some real heat / extra star power and really build him up even more, you have to have him get a Brody Lee style squash, which Brody Lee squashing Cody. You remember that? And
that was
Moxley,
so cool.
Yeah. I think he deserves that.
Yeah,
Adam Cole could he could redeem himself down the line.
Yeah, exactly.
Not necessarily with this title, but go for the trios titles with his buddies, the Paragon or something like that. So I think they need that. I think Fletcher needs that more than Cole needs anything.
Yeah, and like you said, it doesn't have to be over with that, but it needs to be on him. And you could have the whole Paragon feud with the Callis family. And I think that, you could have that as a backdrop, but yeah, I think it's got to be Fletch, dude. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, 100%. What do we got? We got Court. It's Kyle time. She picked Kyle too.
Okay.
Courtney knows.
I think it's unanimous. What about Fletch? What's Fletch saying?
I mean, he's got to pick Fletch. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I just didn't know if there was a dispute on that.
He turning heel, helping Fletcher dethrone Cole. I mean, I was hoping Garcia would turn heel after the fact, just to kind of revamp his character. But I don't know what's the plan with him moving forward. It's such an important pay-per-view. There's still so much talent not featured on the card. I mean, granted, we're going to have a 27-man tag match on the buy-in probably, but like the core matches going forward there. Garcia,
look at that.
Yeah. Hey, look at that.
Look at that. Look who's on top of things. Fletch has got himself his own thing. Now he has to join.
Got his own Dynamite download coin.
Look at that. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see.
I could see that right there.
All right.
Yeah.
Fletch on Fletch. So Courtney put Courtney on Fletch too.
All right. So it looks like unanimous for Fletch, unless we hear from some of the other guys. But
what about let's talk about the tag team title match, the triple threat tag team title match. Now we got obviously the Hurt Syndicate. When they announced this and showed this graphic, I was like, this is an incredible graphic. I love the way they layered all three teams, and then you have MJF and MVP right there in the dead center. I love it. I still don't see my pick's the Hurt Syndicate, but if you're ever going to dethrone them, it's going to be hard for me to see them get dethroned clean. It would have to be in some kind of match like this. Now we've spoken about a potential TLC match down the line with some of the key tag team competitors and teams, but with this one, I just don't think the way that they ragdolled and around Jet Speed the last few weeks, I'm like, oh my gosh, they made Jet Speed, one of the hottest tag teams in AEW, look like jobbers the way they handled them. And I don't mean to use that lightly, but they were getting thrown around like a Lance Archer jobber. And that just shows how big these guys are and how strong these guys are and how much they hurt people. Unless we see a kill switch return or something like that, there's no way Hurt Syndicate loses cleanly, in my opinion, on this one. So my money's on the Hurt.
I think the story here too is that Christian's going to blame Nick Wayne for losing when it clearly Christian's going to be the coward in this whole thing. This is the beginning of the full-on breakup in the patriarchy. And whether or not Kill Switch is involved or not, this is going to be the beginning. And this is going to lead to Christian Cage being alone and isolated and a fatherless father figure. And he's going to be alone. On the other side is we're going to get, whether it's at All In or not, we're going to get the return of Adam Copeland. And Adam Copeland's going to need a tag team partner to take on FTR. And I think what's going to happen is Christian's going to end up being the one. And we're going to finally get that Christian Adam Copeland feud. But it's going to be a while.
Do you think it's possible Cope comes out to save Christian at All In?
Not yet. No, because he has no reason to right now.
True.
His focus his heat is with FTR. So if he's going to be involved in anything, it's going to be something involving FTR. He's not going to do that. I think he's more likely to show up at the Gauntlet than this. But you got to plant the seed now. You got to start the breakup of the patriarchy now. And before there's even a question on whether or not Cope's going to need Christian, you got to start the breakup. And you almost kind of like, Christian's almost got to feel desperate, desolate, isolated, and kind of woe is me, like he's got nothing left. And then that's when Cope, that's when he reaches out. He say, like, however they play it, Cope's going to be the one to redeem him. And they finally do let's do this one last time. And I'd love to see it. Christian and Cope, Hurt Syndicate, FTR, TLC.
Yeah.
Brent, you are you hurt? Do you hurt people, Brent?
I do hurt people. No, I wish. Oh no, yeah. No, I don't hurt anyone. I'd like to sometimes, but what's so funny, man, is I was thinking the same like line of thought you were. I was thinking that Nick Wayne's gonna take the pin somehow, and like Christian's gonna blame him, and the Hurt Syndicate's gonna win. I was kind of thinking almost the same you were. Yep. So yeah, I think it. I don't know. I like how dominant they are, and I think a lot of people do. It's just kind of exciting, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see that, because you don't get a lot of that in AEW, so that makes them kind of special. So yeah, like you guys said, I don't know. I mean, I think we're gonna have to get some kind of new upcoming team to take these guys out.
Yep.
Because I don't really see anybody on the roster right now. And
you think you know me?
That's it.
Well, as in the chat was saying, there's a certain team that might not be able to fight for the world title anymore.
Yes.
And so they might have to search other titles. So we can segue right into that match, which to me would be one of the, I think the second, I don't know, this is definitely for sure top three, but I don't know, man. I feel like the Young Bucks and Ospreay and Swerve match has really got me reeling and really excited. I feel like this is going to be one of the best wrestled matches of the night. Other than the storyline of the main event, I think this one I'm looking forward to the most because I've always been a huge Young Bucks fan, and Swerve and Ospreay ever since joining AEW has really made me huge fans of those guys. Yeah. And so, and there's a lot at stake. And I think all four guys' styles clash together so well. And it's one of those with the stipulation, which love it or hate it, I feel like it's not going to hurt everyone regardless of the results. Like I said at our last week's show, like if Swerve and Ospreay can't fight for the world title picture, then they need to be forced to go for the tag team titles. They need to be forced to go for other titles, which is fine, because if we were already talking about the kind of trajectory of the world title last week, let's just say in theory, Hangman wins. Okay, if MJF wins, you got an MJF feud. And then if MJF eventually wins, then let's say Darby goes for the title. Just those three next in line titles is going to be a year's worth of programming at least. Or you could even throw in a Ricochet or a Hobbs. Other than that, like I want Ospreay, like he deserves to be the world champ, of course. And so, but for him and Swerve to be in programs together for the next year or so, wow, we would be so spoiled to have these guys, together nonstop, sharing a ring together and giving us great matches. That being said, man, so Young Bucks win. Swerve and Ospreay don't get to challenge for the world title for a year. Young Bucks lose, they get stripped of their EVP titles. So you're picking me for the Young Bucks?
Well, no, I'm going Young Bucks hands down, because that's exactly it. That's the story. Is we're supposed to think, the temptation is, the Young Bucks are no longer VEPs, blah blah blah. But once they made that stipulation about we'll go for the singles title, that's forcing Swerve and Ospreay to be that tag team, and that's going to be the following Dynamite. The Dynamite after the pay-per-view is going to be Swerve, and that's going to be the drama. Swerve's going to be pissed because Will Ospreay put it on the line, and however they lost, he's going to be pissed at first, but then they're going to have to coexist, and then they're going to go after the tag titles, and it's going to be Swerve Ospreay versus Hurt Syndicate. Maybe Swerve Ospreay, Hurt Syndicate, and Adam Copeland and Christian in a TLC.
Right.
I mean, can you imagine Swerve and Ospreay in a TLC match with these knuckleheads? So yeah, I think it's Young Bucks. I think it's Young Bucks.
I mean, I said that before. Like, it's funny we're getting that in the chat too. I love the idea of Jack Perry returning is the wild card of this match for both aspects. Could it cost the Young Bucks the match, or could it get them the match? So I feel like you have a safe way to go either way of being able to have, depending on where the line in the sand is drawn for Jack Perry, which we've always kind of wanted him to join the Death Riders. And so could he be the one to cost the Young Bucks? The Young Bucks path could slightly change or not. But I'm going to pick the Young Bucks as well.
All right. Full Tilt Dad picks Young Bucks. Steven picks the Young Bucks. Ooh, Steven with Swerve versus Ospreay, either at All Out or Forbidden Door. That would be, versus. Yeah. And that's the thing, is I think it's going to be versus at first, and then after that, after they blow off some steam, they'll be the team and they'll decide to go for it. Fletch is going with the Founding Fathers. Perhaps a scapegoat may show up. Brent, what are you thinking?
Wow. So if you think about it, where's All In next year?
Back in London.
Yeah. So who's going to wrestle for the belt next year? Ospreay.
When his probation period's up?
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, this is they talk about how AEW doesn't have good stories. This story is going to last a whole year.
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
You know? And like, there's so much that could happen with it. So I'm definitely going with the Young Bucks. And then, because like you said, as PD, we have the world championship. Like, we have several contenders going on, and these guys are world champions. I mean, geez, Swerve signed a multi-year contract not too long ago, and Ospreay is fairly new too, so like we have lots of time to get them to each to get a world title shot down the road, and that's just going to give us anticipation, and that's what we want. Yes. So like, I think this is awesome. So yeah, Young Bucks are going to win, and then we're just going to see them trying to coexist with each other, and then form the team, maybe win the belts. Who knows? But then we're gonna get Ospreay, I think, going to win the title next year, because I always thought he was going to win this year, but it makes sense that he's not, because it's not at Wembley, Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that imagine that moment when he does win in Wembley.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be so crazy.
It'll be better than winning in Texas for sure. That's
exactly.
You got a Cowboy winning in Texas. You have a hometown guy winning in Wembley.
Yeah,
it just makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then have Thunder Rosa win in San Antonio or something. Yeah, there you go. Something like that.
No, down in Arena, Mexico again.
Well, she did. Did she already win in San Antonio? Didn't she win at?
No, but I mean, win the title.
But did she win in Texas? Her first title?
She did. Was it San Antonio? Yeah, that's right. She beat Britt Baker in the cage.
Yeah, and I was like, I remember watching that match thinking, man, I wish I was there to see Thunder win a championship. And dude, I might now.
I know, right?
Dude. That would be cool.
Yeah.
So Bobby's in the chat on Instagram. He's picking Swerve and Ospreay.
Okay.
I'll try to get the rest of his picks via chat though, but he's rocking on us on Instagram here.
All right. Shall we go to the women's match, or do we want to
do it? Let's do it.
Talk, let's go. Or do we want to go here first? Let's go women's match.
It's your pick now, Mind Runner.
Let's talk women's match. All right. I hate this, but it's what they're going to do, and I actually think this is the right move. I hate this, but I am not on the Mercedes Moné hate train anymore. I actually think she's really been fantastic since, I've said it before, that first match with Statlander. And it pains me to say this because Toni Storm is a goddess, but it's time for a heel to have that title. And I really like the Athena winning the gauntlet and being the next challenger, but also developing future challengers. I think you go to Mercedes Moné is going to be the CEO, is going to be the one that wins. We're going to have a night where the ultimate babyface Hangman's going to walk out champion. So you got to balance that karma with some negative karma by having some villains win. And I think you might even get to a point where Mercedes might even, she's going to be the belt collector. She's got to get, before she starts losing those titles, she's got to win the big one. Then she'll start to lose the other titles, and then she'll become more and more like Gollum or like Smeagol and the Precious. So she's going to be hanging on to that one title until somebody does knock her off. So as much as it pains me, as much Toni Storm, I think it's going to be Mercedes Moné is going to walk out of Texas as the world champion.
And I agree totally with you on that. That's why I picked Athena, because I thought Athena would, we've been kind of waiting for that like the huge match. So yeah, it's so funny. I think a lot of our picks are the same there, mind, and the same thinking. It's totally what I would. Now I'm the same way. I don't think it's time for Toni to lose the belt. She's so hot, but like again, I mean, she can chase it. How about this spot? Just do you think she's gonna be and like stay with AEW?
Who, Mercedes?
No, Toni Storm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Toni, here's the thing, because unlike Mariah May, her dream was always to go to WWE.
Yeah.
Toni Storm went to WWE. She had a tremendous career in NXT, but when she got called up to the main roster, they treated her like crap. She was lost. I mean, not her fault, but she was lost. Yeah. They didn't have a good story for her. And arguably, even when she came to AEW, at first, she was still kind of trying to figure out who she was. As soon as she clicked with this timeless Toni Storm character, boom. And what AEW allows, that maybe WWE is starting to figure this out, but what AEW allows its talent to do non-AEW matches. Mm-hmm. So Toni can take that break. Toni can show up in CMLL again, show back up in Japan, show up in the UK. I think that, and plus, if we are heading towards women's tag team belts, Thunder Tits could be an option. Toni Storm and Mina could be an option. The timeless twosome or something like that. There's a ton of things that can go. There's direction for Toni Storm, and Toni Storm, she doesn't necessarily need the title in order to be the top girl. Steven, I thought about that, but I don't think I thought the time for that would have been if Mina felt like Toni cost her the title, the TBS title from Mercedes. But they didn't do that. In fact, they went the other direction. Toni Storm was trying to protect Mina. So I actually think what's going to happen is I think you're going to see Toni Storm and Mina form a tag team. And I think that when they're going to be a tag team going after the tag team titles, and I could see that happening at some point.
Bobby's picking the CEO. I'll put all the rest of his picks in our little private chat too. You can add those later. Okay. But, this is one of those, like, I am more curious with this one, I feel like, than any other match of what direction AEW has in mind with this. Because I'm so, I'm so back and forth with this. Like, it's one of those, like, book with your heart, book with your brain. I like this, Fletch, man. I'm going with Toni because as much as I want to see, and I think Mercedes would do so greatly with her belt collector gimmick, I feel like this there's got to be some stop to it. And I feel like Toni has got to be the one to give Mercedes her first loss. Like, on the roster currently, who have been rising up and wrestling and who is in the picture, there's no one really at the moment that stacks up at the moment that could provide Mercedes with the loss. And I think giving her first loss and not getting the world title picture, she'll just be that much more, throwing temper tantrums and things like that, and I think it'd be funny. But I feel like the momentum in the Tony train has got to keep going full steam ahead right now.
And I saw my wife. She said she's going. She said, "F it." She's going with the timeless one. So
thank you.
Go. And Courtney's going timeless. Look at this. This is our most divided match right now, I think. But I stand with Brent on that, on the idea that that's what we're gonna do. So
yeah, Fletcher's got a good take in the chat too.
AEW will make that like WWE did Judgment Day. Death Riders will lose the men's world title, but will go after the women's title, and Timeless Storm will possibly Statlander. That's why I think that, except I think Stat's gonna turn good, is gonna stay good, and it's gonna build up to Marina, and I think Shayna Baszler's gonna show up in AEW.
It could be a double cross. It could be they try to get Stat and they get close, and Statlander says no. Yeah. But then Death Riders have the that double cross in their arsenal and end up costing Statlander stuff. I think Statlander and Willow are stronger together versus apart. The whole Death Rider stuff, it's not. I don't know if they officially announced it, but that trios match, Ops versus Death Riders, there's no official graphic, but they've hinted at that. Now, before we talk about this Unification Championship match, who would you think would be the third member of the Death Riders? Do you think Pac is going to be healthy enough to return? Because it happened back in April, his injury. So about a 3 months recovery, or would it be someone such as a Gabe Kidd joining him, or maybe a Jack Perry? What do you see?
I think Gabe Kidd makes sense, which could open up for Eddie Kingston somehow coming back. But I don't know. But Jack Perry would be a surprise, except that we never got any kind of closure with Jack Perry and the Elite. But that's the only reason I would be hesitant to suggest Jack Perry. But Yuta is with him, but that's the other two. It's Yuta and Claudio. There's a third spot open, and if Pac's not healthy, this is an opportunity. They could bring a third person in. I mean, a Braun Strowman. I mean, I
think having Perry in that trios doesn't really aesthetically make them that like Pac is just such a one of a kind kind of guy. You have these ops, you have big ass Samoa Joe, big ass powerhouse Hobbs, and then Shibata. Like that's great dynamics, but I don't see small Yuta, small Perry, and then big Claudio. Like a Gabe Kidd would stack up stronger. I feel like a Gabe Kidd going toe to toe with. Oh, there you go. But that's another one of those things. It's like Hook's a smaller guy too, but it could be. I mean, he's been very protected in AEW, so I like the way that Hook's been kind of MIA, and we saw what happened when he did make an appearance. He kind of cold shouldered the ops. So Wardlow, Hook.
That's another
Gabe Kidd, all these are really good ones. I would take any of those.
Courtney, of course, he is with the ops, but Courtney, you got to remember, Hook came back. He wanted no part of the ops. Here's the thing. The only thing though is, didn't he go straight after Claudio though? He was focused on Claudio. I don't know how that would work if he suddenly showed up. I don't know. It's compelling. I know we all want Wardlow now that I think he's done with Gladiators right now. So maybe but I don't know. The cool thing is there's so many options. There are some really good options there.
For sure.
I would guess Gabe Kidd. He would be the safest pick because unless Pac is healed. But here's the thing. I bet we won't find out until Wednesday. We're going to find out tomorrow night who the third member is.
Or on Thursday when we're there at Collision.
Yes.
So Tony Khan came out and talked about this. I don't know if you all saw this. A little clarification on this. Did you guys see that post? So I'm indifferent about it. I don't like what I heard. They essentially are still going to acknowledge all those 2 belts, international and continental, and the unification belt. So essentially, the winner is going to carry 3 belts, like what we saw with Eddie Kingston.
I don't like that.
I think that is the.
What's the point of unifying them if you're going to have 3 belts? I think that's
I don't know. Maybe that changes, but to carry around 3 belts after winning 1 match is just kind of silly in my opinion. And I was all for making more with less. Unifying this, having 1 belt, taking away 2, or combining them. That's the whole thing about a unified champion is more meaningful than having these 3 belts. I love the Continental Classic tournament, but you can just still call it the Continental Classic tournament for the unified championship.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be for the Continental Championship. So he made some clarifications on that. I don't know. Hopefully it gets adjusted and that's not the end all be all. I don't like the unnecessary belt collectingness wearing 3 belts. Like when Eddie Kingston was walking around with all that, I was like, this is just a little obnoxious. It's different for Mercedes because they're all different promotions.
Like look at when the Bullet Club Gold, when the Collision Cowboys, they had to bring a freaking wagon to have all the belts.
Yeah. So that being said, that part aside, it kind of didn't sit too well, but this match is one of those that's going to be very memorable. We the history behind these 2 guys, if you haven't followed them or know much about it, it's just going to be, they're going to bring the house down as well. I mean, we only had 3 matches booked for the longest time, and the card was already like signed, sealed, delivered. We're all in because of how great the card is, and this was one of the matches. I'm so curious how this is going to go. I feel like I love the way we were talking about mine with Okada winning and continuing his heelness and the whole Callis stuff, and then maybe to Takeshita down the line challenging him. But I got to say, Okada's my pick.
Yep, Okada's my pick too. I really think that the plan here, as much as we want Kenny to win, I think the plan is Okada, the Callis factor.
Yes.
By bringing Don Callis into the fold here, one, it takes Okada away from whatever's going to happen with the Bucks, and it puts him with Don Callis. I like Okada with Don Callis, but you go back to what Don Callis said. He said when he first got recruited to Takeshita, he said Takeshita's better than Okada. He went through the whole litany of big stars, and he's even mentioned he's better than Okada. But now Don Callis is, where Takeshita is Woody, Okada is Buzz Lightyear, and Andy's making a choice of who's going to go in the car to Pizza Planet, and it's going to be Okada. And here's what's going to happen. Bandito is going to successfully retain his ROH title against Takeshita at ROH. Takeshita is going to be empty-handed. Okada is going to retain, and Don Callis is going to let it know that he's going to make a big deal out of Okada having his belt and Takeshita not having a belt. And eventually it's going to lead to Takeshita turning on Okada. We've even seen it. You heard the reaction when they were face to face in that reaction. So I think this is building up to Okada versus Takeshita, with a face Takeshita defeating Okada down the line. I don't think it's going to be as soon as All Out, but I think it's coming. It's going to be soon. Brent, did I steal your thunder again? Was that what you were going to say?
Oh man, you kind of talked me into it. I was like that sounds really good what you just said, man. Because I was going to go with Kenny. I was going to go with Full Tilt Deb, which I always thought Kenny was going to win it. I thought this was made for Kenny.
Exactly.
But man, you're right with Takeshita. Because we saw that in the backstage a couple weeks ago, where you could see him turning. He's jealous, and it just makes for better storytelling if Okada wins. So I think he's gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna go with him.
You're gonna go with Okada.
Okada, yeah. I mean, it just kind of makes sense with what you just said. I like that. And the thing with the belts, man, that's Yeah, just give us one. Just give us the one title, and then like give someone a cup for the winner of the tournament, and then face the unified champion. Because then there's no sense to have a unified title. You know, if you're gonna carry around 3 belts, I mean, like that just doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, I don't. That's weird.
Yeah. I think sometimes Tony Khan, you know, because remember, Tony Khan grew up as not just a WWE fan, but he was a New Japan fan, Mexican. Like he's Mr. Like he has a photographic memory. You know, he has that stats, and I think he's sitting there, and I think he's kind of. I think sometimes Tony Khan, you know, like a lot of creative minds, they get hyped over an idea, and they almost want to force it into existence. And I think sometimes, you know, he's probably had this idea for some time, and he's forcing it into existence without stopping and saying, you know, are the fans really going to like this or not? Not that it's not, and I don't mean it in a malicious way.
Yeah,
I think it's just, you know, the way a creative mind like him thinks is he's got this plan, but and because you've seen it sometimes where like he'll have a plan for a wrestler, they get injured. He'll like I think his plan was for Statlander to be the one to dethrone Jade Cargill.
Oh yeah,
got injured. That's what led to the Jade Cargill marathon. Was I think he was waiting for her to come back to dethrone her. So I think that's the thought here behind these. But yeah, it's going to get ridiculous. But if they're going to have like they said before, you could have a Continental Classic not for the Continental title. You can have it for the Unified Championship. I'm all for a Women's Continental Classic for the TBS title. I think that's what we need to do. I think that would be tremendous, you know, to have something like that. But anyways, I think that's what did Fletch say? Did Fletch say is he going with Okada?
Bobby's got Okada.
Okada needs this W more than Omega. Okay, Bobby's got Okada. Look at this.
Bobby's got Okada. Fletch got Okada.
What about Court?
Let's
is she gonna go with full tilt Deb?
Full tilt Deb with Kenny. Yeah, Mindrunner, you could sell a ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves.
Did you get that from Tommy Boy?
Oh yeah, he's flip flopped you, Brent.
Here's the thing. Yeah, I can get a good look at a T-bone steak by sticking my head up a bull's ass, but I'd rather take the butcher's word for it.
There you go. Exactly.
It's got to be your bull. No, wait. Oh,
yeah.
Richard.
Oh,
no. All-time classic. All-time classic. Oh, so
dude,
good.
It's one of my favorite comedies of all time. I've seen it so many times. I think I saw it 4 times when it came out in the theater.
They don't make them like that these days. It's so crazy that we're like always bring it up just because he's such a pivotal comedian in our era. But man, I think he was 33 when he passed. Farley, it's wild.
Yeah,
not too soon.
It sucks.
All right.
But yeah, that movie's great.
Is this the last one for now?
Yeah, let's go. Let's just review what we've done so far.
Wow.
We've got, now, of course, you know they're going to be like 6 more matches added this week, and there's going to be 3 more added Saturday morning. But yeah, this is what we got so far. Fletch, who did you want for the men's gauntlet? We'll just say we'll go back to it. We got overwhelmingly everybody saying Fletcher. I think overwhelmingly everybody's saying Hurt Syndicate. Bobby is the dissenter for this match. We got Full Tilt Deb, the dissenter for this match, but she's a Kenny loyalist. I understand. This is the most split match that we have. So let's talk about this. Are we going to get a happy ending, or is Texas going to lynch the Death Riders at the end of this show?
Hold on, I gotta see. Where is it? Here we go. I mean, it's gonna be. Is it showing? Okay, it's gonna be full of confetti, guys. It's gotta be. I mean, this is the time. As much as some may want a Darby or someone else potentially, Hangman has built this. He's built this up to be the match. He built himself up to be the guy. Like, if not now, for Hangman, win again. You know, like exactly. How much more do you have to do and prove if not now, then win? So this is it. This is Hanger's time for sure. If hell freezes over and Moxley does win, I do confidently feel like we'll get a redemption story, or not redemption story, but a underdog story with Darby being the champ, which would be a lot of fun as well. However, this is it, man. I mean, this is the biggest show with one of the OG guys, Adam Page, Hangman Adam Page, deserving his redemption story and getting that title, setting the world title free in front of the largest U.S. audience non-WWE show. So that is what's best for business, is to leave everyone happy, both watching on TV or live in person, as we will be in a few short days. It has to be, no questions asked. Now, I love the stipulation of a death match because, Moxley's reign has never been a fair fight. It never has, even in the steel cage and everything going on. So this is going to be another match where there is a line drawn in the sand. Where do you stand? Who's on whose side of the coin, or of the field? So this could give the opportunity to have a Darby return, to have a Jack Perry return, to have a Pac return, or whatever it may be for that. So this is going to be great. And, this is also going to be one of our tiebreakers, is the time of the match as well, which we always do the main event for one of the tiebreakers, the length of this. But I think this is going to have a lot of time. This is going to be a 30-minute plus match, in my opinion. So Hanger for sure. SPD is definitely picking Hanger. As the world title goes, I mean, I feel like we're all there, not only for our heart, but for what we think's best for business. Bobby's Team Hangman as well.
I got to ask Brent, do you think it's going to be, as Fletch is saying in the chat, I think we've said it too, is it going to be like Endgame of Marvel Studios, where everybody shows up? Wakanda Forever, we're going to get Eddie, Darby, we're going to get Gabe, we're going to get all these people. Who knows? Shota Ibushi. Antonio Inoki's going to rise from the grave and come back and slap Moxley. I mean, do you think we're going to have everybody come through the portals and help Hangman secure the victory?
You know what just hit me just now? Who's gonna help Hangman win this and gonna cause a new feud? Dude, Bryan Danielson's coming back.
Oh,
he's gonna help Hangman. He's gonna help Hangman win the belt. He's gonna chase John Moxley out of the arena, and then we're gonna get because he's not retired. Remember, we still might retired. So we still might get to, and like he's gonna be in Texas because he's gonna be at StarCast.
That's true.
I bet you. Full tell Deb, she's gonna be man. We're gonna be sitting there, and I'm just gonna look over, and she's gonna be so mad.
Yep, she's gonna.
You and me both, Brent. I'm big Danielson fans, so I would top for that. Now, I think this just gives it's so much opportunity to segue the Death Rider story to continue to interweave with Hangman and Team AEW, but also give him fresh opponents, whether it be that redemption revenge from Danielson, redemption revenge from Darby, even, I mean, you could throw so many others in there as well. So that just gives you that much more depth of the storyline, because then Hangman winning has an immediate feud with potentially Death Riders and maybe multi-man matches and things like that before, but also whoever wins that Casino Gauntlet, he has an immediate feud or immediate target on his back from that heel who's going to win. Mm-hmm. And then Moxley's going to have targets on his back, immediate feuds with whomever comes out to get their revenge, which Darby and Danielson are two guys that would be right at the top of that list, even though Moxley's made a lot of enemies.
I like a lot of people are saying Sting might also show up, but Courtney, I agree with Courtney. So Sting doesn't live in Texas. In fact, I thought he lived in New York in that apartment complex, or does he live in Liverpool? But either way, I thought his best music was when he was with the Police. So
Yeah.
I think that's yes. Anyways, yeah, okay. Yeah, good stuff, huh?
The incredible pay-per-view. I mean, this is going to be the biggest cherry on top to have the end the show there. But let's talk about, speaking of being on the down there, got a little bit of itinerary. I know we got on Friday, Brent's lucky he's going to the ROH show, but we're going to be kicking things off, going to Collision on Thursday down in Texas, going to AEW karaoke. We got Starcast both Friday and Saturday. And we're going to a GCW show. This will be my first GCW show ever, so I'm excited to dip my toe in a little bit of different waters there. And maybe that show will be over. Yeah. Should I bring a barf bag and a poncho to protect myself?
Definitely bring your shades, because you're going to want to avert your eyes a few times.
Definitely. So a lot of fun going to be had all week long. And it's going to be definitely a busy week and not a lot of sleep. So I'm going to be bringing, chugging a lot of coffee as well, but it's going to be fun. I mean, they just released the Starcast list of timing for everyone. It's pretty long. So you have to almost zoom in all these fine print. It's pretty incredible, the amount of talent that is going to be available to meet and greet, as well as different panels and things like that. So, what are you, I would say, both for Brent and Mindrunner, what are some top things you're looking forward to the most?
I want to first, before I want to dispel the horrible rumors, I know that recently it was announced that Beast Mortos will not be available for his meet and greets, but I have to tell you that is not true. Beast Mortos will be at All In Texas. He will be at Starcast.
Really?
Many Beast Mortos will be there. Many Beast Mortos will be there, and he will be ready to he's going to have his own adventure with Dynamite Download, as well as a very cool feature, because Brent and I are going to be 12 years old. SPD's got the coverage. We're going to have a segment called Marking Out with Mind, which basically is going to chronicle my first experience with one. This is my first time going one of these events, so Pat, my senpai Brent, you're gonna have to guide me on the do's and don'ts of these meet and greets and photo ops. I'm excited for the whole thing. I have to say though, I have a photo op with Tony Storm and Luther, but the thing I'm most excited about, and this was kind of a last minute thing, my wife got me an anniversary present. She got me a photo op with the man in the black hat, and we're not sure not SPD. Not SPD. We're not sure how many more of these things he's got in him, but good old JR has got a photo op, and actually they're going to have him sitting at the commentary table, the authentic AEW commentary table. So we're going to get a picture of me and JR sitting at the commentary table. I'm going to treasure that forever. The legend himself. I think it's going to be fantastic. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I also think the Jazzwares reveal, I think, is gonna be right up my alley, because I'm a huge figure collector, and MJF and Mark Briscoe are gonna be part of the hosting panel for that. I don't know if you guys have been watching the TikTok trend of moms being forceful, showing their autistic child's collection of figures. Have you seen Tisha Campbell and her son's X-Men figures? And she's got like the boxing gloves. She's like, "You're going to listen to my son tell you about his toys." And she goes, "It's not toys, Mom. It's action figures." Well, I think we're going to start to see. Mark Briscoe kind of take that attitude. But anyways, it's going to be fun. It's going to be so much fun. I'm deliriously excited.
What about you, Brown? What are some of the key things?
Yeah, and Brent, what are really some do's and don'ts also? Yeah.
Well, do's and don'ts. I mean, I just try to be real respectful, I always try to think of something clever to say, something I think about, like maybe, they hear, a lot of the wrestlers probably hear the same things over and over and over again. Sometimes I think outside the box, if I know who I'm going to meet, like, just something like off the wall. Like when I met Bret Hart, I asked him about his favorite Tom Petty song because I knew he liked Tom Petty. I love Tom Petty. I read his book, so he was really like kind of taken back when I asked him that. And usually I try not to do a wrestling related question because they're always getting. If you're going to ask a question, because you don't get much time either. You know what I mean? You're talking about like a couple minutes if you're lucky.
Right.
Depending on how long the line is, and sometimes you get some people that I'll give you an like Thunder is always somebody who will talk to whoever she doesn't care how long her line is.
Yeah.
Deonna Purrazzo is like that too. She's always like really engaging with the fans, and and some people you could tell that they don't even want to be there. Just so here you go, get out of here.
Yeah.
So and you'll see that as you go, and you'll get I get nervous all the time when and I've done this so many times now. And it's the anticipation, and even like I'm going to see Statlander, and I've seen her already like 4 times, and like I still get nervous.
I'll be with you for that one, so we can talk each other off the ledge.
Yeah, yeah. But Statlander, she's real mellow, and she's really nice and cool. She's a little shy, so but that's cool. I'm looking forward to the ROH panel with one thing is cool is I don't know if you heard on Thunder's vlog that how she starts doing this.
Yeah.
You know who gave her that idea to do that?
Natty.
No.
Bully Ray.
No.
Hechicero.
No.
Captain
GP.
Iguana.
It's Lee Moriarty.
Oh, nice.
Which is awesome because he's from Pittsburgh, and I used to see him wrestle in Pittsburgh, and he worked with my friend. They were like one of my best friends, like worked with him at a Giant Eagle. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm excited to see both of them on the panel.
Yep.
And I never even I'd like to meet Lee Moriarty. He's not somebody.
Isn't he on the I Drink sponsored meet and greets? There's a whole bunch of their free meet and greets.
He's not on there. No,
he's not on there.
No,
he was.
No, not. Are you talking about at the Starcast? The free list? Yeah, he's not on the list. I made a list. I made a list today in the Times so I can make sure I hit them all up.
Yep.
But I mean, of course, I'm looking forward to the ROH show because if I could be there when
be a fight, you think Thunder and Athena are going to fight at that panel?
That's a good. I bet you something goes down.
I hope so. That'd be cool. That'd be a lot of good press for sure.
Yeah.
Good social stuff. Go viral.
Yeah. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was just thinking that would be.
Oh no, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be. I can't even it's going to be so awesome. Like, I can't believe how many cool things I've gotten to do with AEW, and like. It's like I used to go to the WWE show, some of them, but like AEW offers so many cool experiences.
Yeah.
And the talent is always so nice and so approachable and so cool. And like I've never had a bad experience doing anything with them. And it just makes me want to do more things with them. They're so accommodating. And I don't think people realize that they let their talent and the talent, do kind of what they want, but like be themselves. And it's really cool. And I think we're going to have the best time ever.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Full Tilt Deb gave me some great advice, and I'm going to pass it on to y'all. This is just advice in general when going to anything like this is we got to make sure we enjoy the time that we're in. Because if we're like already thinking about Friday and it's Wednesday, enjoy the Wednesday, enjoy the Thursday while we're in it. We got to enjoy Collision while we're there and not think about Friday, not think about All In, think about the time we're in there. Because we're going to be karaoke, we're going to be, doing all sorts. We're going to be all over the place. And as to paraphrase the Beastie Boys, no sleep till All In.
All In
is over. No sleep till All In's over.
Yeah, exactly. We'll sleep on the plane.
How about you, SPD? What are you looking forward to? And anybody in particular you're looking forward to meeting?
I just, like you said, mine being present. That's one thing. It's always really important too, because you always have a countdown. Like I've had this countdown going for so long, looking forward to, and so then also the destination is so close, and you're going to be down there starting tomorrow, mine. And so, just I just hope, like, I'm just excited to mingle with fellow super fans, and just to expect the unexpected. We're walking the hall and we see someone or a fan, or one of our friends or a wrestler or whatever it may be, and I just don't know what to expect at some of these shows or at the Starcast and things like that in the karaoke, like, because that's all new stuff to me, and it's been a long time since I've been to a large stadium show. I think the last time was on kind of a last minute thing. I went to WrestleMania in New York, and I was sitting way high up, and it was cool being in the room and like in the stadium, but it was not like the experience I expected. I was like looking at the screen the whole time, because you're like way at the top of a football stadium. And so I'm just excited to hang with all of you guys and just be like, we're gonna have a posse hanging out all weekend and meeting new people, meeting new friends, and hopefully just like establishing maybe a relationship with some of these wrestlers a little bit further. And so and support a product that we've been following for so many years in their biggest show pretty much ever in the US. So it's going to be an awesome weekend. A whirlwind for sure.
It's going to be a whirlwind. And we got to make sure that we don't want to be shutterbugs, but we want to try to capture as much, as many pictures and video as we can for this event. There's going to be some cool segments. I think it'd be cool for us to kind of walk around, interview some fans too, just get a poll of who's going to win, what are your picks, blah, blah, blah. Obviously the marking out with mine's going to be cool. A lot of the other cool stuff. And there might be some surprises and some shenanigans going on. You never know what's going to happen.
Well, sweet. All right, man. Everyone, thank you for joining us on today's show. If you haven't made your final picks, send us to them in our social channels. But stay tuned for all the content from the ground, live from the ground. Starting Thursday, we'll be doing maybe an Instagram live or something like that, or Twitter live before we go to Collision. And definitely we'll post some stories, maybe do a little live feed at the karaoke as well for a little sneak peek behind the scenes. We'll see if any of us are able to get on the stage and sing. Brent, I know that. You got anything in mind if you get that opportunity?
Ooh, and like I bought the tickets that like I do get that opportunity.
Oh yeah. So what song?
Oh geez.
Are you going Tom Petty or?
Well, when I did me and my wife used to do karaoke a lot before our son was born. So like I had a go-to list, and American Girl, Tom Petty was one of them. Gin Blossoms, Hey Jealousy.
Nice.
I would Green Day, Holiday.
That's a good party song.
I think Creedence, Looking Out My Back Door was one of them. I think those were Elvis, Suspicious Minds.
Oh, there we go.
And then
I look back.
And I think too is like I think I'll get choose a song and sing it with an AEW.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's your package is that. Yeah, I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so my voice is so terrible though, so I'm just going to be embarrassing myself.
That's what's so cool about karaoke.
Oh yeah,
you're either really good or you're really terrible, and both are awesome. So if you do a duet with Thunder Rosa, pick what's that one song with Aaron Neville and Linda Ronstadt? Have her sing the really good Linda Ronstadt side, and then you go, look at us now, how we're here together. Thunder Rosa Army is the best. And then if you mess up the lyrics, just make up your own stuff. Thunder Army is the best. My go-to song, if I get a chance to get up there, I'm gonna go ahead and roll out my go-to song, which is Poison by Belle Biv DeVoe. That's I gotta go with. It's driving me out of my mind. That's why it's hard for me to find. Can't get her out of my head. Miss her, kiss her, love her, wrong move. You did that, girl is poison. Never
Be your
trust a man
background
but a
dancer.
smile.
Be your background dancer and just do this the whole time. Do the Mercedes
right,
one.
yeah.
Yeah,
will they let you have backup dancers, Brent? Then SPD and I and Fulton get up there.
Just sneak on in and do it.
All right. I'm not a singer. It depends on how many cold brewskis I have on me too, with my liquid courage. But I will try to sign up. I got a couple things in mind just for the heck of it. Why not? But hopefully there's opportunity to do it. But that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeehaw!
Woo!
Well, perhaps for the last time, we're going to play our outro.
Oh, I love this.
Our outro is going to change after all this because we're going to have clips of us down there.
Yes,
we're going to do the Bang Bang Gang clip. I want to get the Young Bucks code.
We got to do that. So without further ado,
just making sure I got my danglies out.
All right, y'all. We'll see you in Texas.
Here's my two shoes for the week: Young Bucks and boots.
Look at those boots, dude. Those are sweet, dude.
Those are true.
Killer boots, man.
All right, gents. All right, fam. We'll see you in Texas.
I'm your huckleberry.